Jessi is again in trouble, but this time it's really bad that Koreans demand she leave the country. According to reports on October 11th, the 18-year-old victim claimed that on the early morning of September 29th, he was walking to a convenience store in Apgujeong when he spotted Jessi and approached her. The video of the assault reached 7.5 million views. CCTV shows a man in Jessi's group stopping the fan and reportedly swearing at him in English. Jessi reportedly told the fan she could not take a photo and apologized. The fan also apologized and attempted to leave when another man punched and kicked him. Surveillance footage showed Jessi's party separated the assailant from the victim and attempted to stop the fight. The victim reported that while Jessi seemed to be intervening at first, she then retreated and disappeared. It was also noted the rest of the group left the scene while the victim was reporting the incident to the police. The informant expressed, "Someone was being hit, and I don't know if Jessi ran away to avoid involvement, but I was really let down." Even in the video, she just stood by, and as a fan, it was quite disappointing. After hearing the victim's account, police found Jessi and her party at a bar nearby, but the assailant was not present. Reports indicated that Jessi and her group claimed they did not know the whereabouts of the man. On the day of the incident, the victim's mother visited Jessi's agency and learned that the assailant was not connected to Jessi but was a Chinese acquaintance of a producer close to her. For about 10 days following the incident, there was no news from the police or the agency. On October 10th, the victim returned to the police station, where officers reported they had yet to identify the assailant. That morning, the informant received a message from the producer, stating, "Jessi doesn't know the person who assaulted you and is not involved in this matter. You shouldn't contact Jessi or her side to threaten them." The victim further clarified he had never directly threatened Jessi or contacted her. Jessi's agency's lawyer has addressed the situation, stating that Jessi had nothing to do with the assault and that they would help in finding the perpetrator. Jessi had no involvement in the assault incident and added, the assailant and Jessi met for the first time that day. If the victim sees Jessi and the assailant as part of the same group, we will consider how to address that on a moral basis. Additionally, the Gangnam police station stated, "We had no choice but to contact the producer who was with them to ascertain the assailant's identity. We have requested the producer to appear, and they are scheduled to do so next week." And in the same JTBC report, it was said that the victim is experiencing significant psychological distress and is hoping for the assailant's arrest. Though the company said they would cooperate and appropriately compensate the victim if the situation called for it, netizens have criticized Jessi and her company for their overall response. The man who assaulted is the main problem, but Jessi just left after seeing her own fan getting assaulted right in front of her? Someone in her own group assaulted someone right in front of her, and she just left? If you see a stranger getting beaten on the street, at the very least, you'd call the police. But someone came up to her as a fan, got beaten, and she just went off to drink? What's up with Jessi? Not only did she leave the scene, but when the victim and police came looking for her, why didn't she cooperate? Even if she just met the assailants that day, there's still a process of how she ended up with them. She should have told the police that they were acquaintances of the producer. Why did she hide that and cover for them? At this point, Jessi is an accomplice to the assault. Her student-aged fan was assaulted by someone in her group, and she just left without reporting it and went back to drinking? And she didn't even cooperate in catching the assailant? Wow, what kind of personality is that? Jessi may not be directly at fault, but her fan was assaulted by her group for no reason, and instead of checking if the fan was okay, she just left quietly to avoid getting involved and went back to drinking. It's understandable why people are disappointed. What? It wasn't even a confrontation, the fan was assaulted out of nowhere. Even if the assailant wasn't her personal friend, they were still in her group. She should have intervened or at least helped afterwards. How can she just leave to go drink? And on top of that, she didn't even help catch the attacker? This is unbelievable. In the early hours of October 12th, KST, Jessi took to Instagram to address the incident, reiterating her agency's previous comments. She also apologized for the recent news and expressed regret for how things played out. As well, she turned off comments for this post. Hello, this is Jessi. First and foremost, I sincerely apologize for causing many people concerns with the recent assault reports. Recently, during a private gathering with acquaintances, a fan requested a photo. However, because it was late at night, I politely declined twice. At that moment, a nearby individual whom I had seen that night for the first time suddenly assaulted the fan. Because I also was too shocked by the sudden turn of events, I was not able to show my consideration toward the fan. Irrespective of the exact details of the incident, I express immense regret that the victims suffered from such an act of injustice, and I feel morally responsible. Soon after the incident, my label and I contacted the mother of the victim, and we are currently working to ensure that the victim finds the culprit and receives a proper apology and due compensation, and that the victim faces proper punishment. We earnestly ask that you refrain from seeing this incident through a one-sided lens and from publishing reports based on suspicions. The alleged victim and the victim's mother appeared on JTBC's Crime Thief and refuted Jessi's claims that the person who assaulted the victim was not an acquaintance. I saw her apology, but she only seemed to be making excuses. It doesn't make sense that the person who suddenly assaulted him was someone she saw the first time that day. My child says that the person Jessi claimed was not her acquaintance was with her. The victim also expressed their disappointment in Jessi's apology. It doesn't seem like she is reflecting at all, and using the term moral responsibility doesn't make it look genuine. The victim also was suspicious that Koala could be a member of a gang. When I was with my friends, I heard the word gang being used. His walking and body language didn't seem normal, so I did some research on Koala, and it looks like he might be part of a Korean gang. Jessi's agency responded to this. Koala has worked with Jessi on a few music projects, but Jessi is not connected to any gang. We have no knowledge of Koala being affiliated with a gang. Then it was revealed that the male assailant who attacked the victim was an acquaintance of Koala. The culmination of Jessi's apology and new revelation over her gang-affiliated acquaintances made Korean netizens really dislike her. They are now demanding that Jessi, who is known to be a Korean American, leave Korea entirely. Jessi, leave this country. We need to kick her out and not let her in like Steven Yu. Jessi, if you're American, go back to America. If you go to America, have fun with those that dodged the military. I hope you go back to your country. Yankee, go home. Go back to your country. How did you write that apology when you can't even speak Korean? Go back to your country. Go back to the States. As well, international fans feels very disappointed in Jessi. Jessi shouldn't have just walked away. The victim was her fan after all. And that apology of hers was. There's a saying that you are who you hang around with. She always denied everything and apologized only because it went public, typical of artists, lol. This is not the first time she got involved in this kind of situation. I have made a video before about her 3 alleged assaults. I will play those parts here. In 2013, Jessi was accused of assaulting a Ms. Choi alongside 2 of her friends, causing multiple injuries during a brawl that took place at a nightclub in Itaewon. On May 18th, a fight occurred in the women's bathroom of a club where Korean-American and English instructor Ms. Choi allegedly became victims of assault. Ms. Choi accused Jessi and her friends, L and G, of assaulting her and even trying to stick her head into the toilet. However, Jessi is insisting that she only tried to stop the fight between Ms. Choi and her friends, who were visiting Korea from the States. Jessi revealed her side of the story, saying that she and her friends didn't have anything to drink that night and only ran into Ms. Choi in the bathroom, where they saw her arguing with a foreigner in English. Ms. Choi was drunk and she started to swear. She punched my friends' faces, and that is when the fight started. I only tried to stop my friends from fighting. I didn't think much of it and let it pass, so I am overwhelmed about the accusations. I am wrongly accused. I've never said foul words or hit Ms. Choi. I was only trying to stop the fight. That woman is lying because she knows that I am a singer. I don't know why this is happening and I am really hurt. But Ms. Choi also expressed her side of the story, saying, Jessica and her friends tried to put my head into the toilet. I don't even want to imagine what it would have been like if they had succeeded. However, I somehow managed to get away. It seemed like a miracle. When I was about to escape, they made me kneel down and told me, "We told you not to mess with us. Say you're sorry," and kept cursing at me. I didn't oblige and just kept asking them to return my handbag. G finally threw my bag and they ran away. There's CCTV footage of them scurrying out. Even the club manager said it seemed weird how they were scurrying to get out. In 2015, she was accused of assaulting her manager. At that time, nobody believed in this, and for them, she didn't seem like a person who would act like this. In 2016, another assault allegation came out. It resulted in authorities being called, this time at a music video filming at a Gangnam club. According to the Apgujeong Police Branch Office, the police received a report on November 17 at around 9:30 p.m. that there was a physical altercation during a music video filming at a club in Gangnam District. The police revealed there were two groups involved, Jessi's team and alleged male victim May's team, and they got into a verbal dispute over the fact that one group didn't receive the greeting of the other group. Things escalated into a physical altercation. The guy allegedly assaulted by Jessi testified that things did get physical, while Jessi denied it, but nothing further went down because they didn't want charges brought. At the scene, it testified that he was physically assaulted by Jessi, but Jessi denied the allegation. The police continued. The testimonies were conflicting, but both people didn't want to be penalized. At the end of their conversation, they made up with each other, and everything was resolved at the scene. It's really disappointing. I really like her music and her appearances on variety shows, but this time it's difficult to see if she can recover from this. But what are your thoughts? Thank you for watching, and see you next time.